Hey guys, welcome to the shop. In this video, I'm gonna do a compare and contrast, kind of comparing this dust separator with one of these more traditional versions. This one cost almost 8 to 10 times as much. Is it worth it? Here we go. So before we get into the comparison on the dust collection in the shop, I'm going to show you a little bit about how this business works. I need, well, a bunch of plywood broken down. I break things down into 36-inch pieces. And as you see here, that hydraulic table is definitely helpful. The CNC I have is very powerful, but it's not that big. Oh, to have a 4x8 one day, yep, definitely. I do see that coming in the future, but at least not right now. So for the time being, I've got to break things down into 24 by 36-inch pieces. And there you go. There is the corner in which all this digital fab happens. However, it doesn't really work for me extremely well. It's not the most efficient. You can see that rack there doesn't really hold the right amount of materials, and I have to stack things up a little bit differently. So let's get to work. So I'm taking a gamble on the most efficient method for storing sheets of plywood is just to stack them. Now this is actually fairly safe, believe it or not. I'm making these pallets to hold exactly the dimension of the pieces that I use, and it actually doesn't move at all. I've stacked these things up to the ceiling almost. I'm just kidding, of course, but this is really going to be the most efficient way. And actually building these pallets out of plywood, custom pallets kind of from what I had lying around, it was kind of satisfying. And I'd never really made pallets before, but I could see why this would be kind of a fun job. A buddy of mine does it for a manufacturer here in Jacksonville. He said he loves it. So moving forward, we're going to move some of our dust collection up. And then I've got to, well, I made this thing too high. You can see here, I can't actually put the hook back on the holder. So I've got to come with a little different piece. I made these hooks, I don't know, years ago. Not really, but a few months ago, and they didn't really work out, but they work great for this. So as you see, I'm stacking material up over and over. This is actually more strenuous than you might believe. Cutting all this wood down and making sure it's all just perfect, you know? You don't want any edges not to be lined up. There I am jamming out. If you see me bouncing around, must have been a good song on the radio. So as you can see here, everything is all stacked up nice and neat where it needs to be. The level of efficiency to have the materials ready to go right by the CNC is definitely paramount. And you can see some backstock has now been made. I learned a lot during the holidays when I was making orders and shipping them the same day I was cutting them. That was tough. And I've basically become a company now that is specializing in making things out of Baltic birch that are in the utilitarian world to help makers organize their shops and make it more inviting because everything looks aesthetically pleasing too. So just to let you know as well, my website is linked down below. I make tool accessories and various organizational things for the maker. Made out of Baltic birch, really high quality wood. Here cut in my shop on the CNC, and I do all the shipping as well, at least for the moment. So if you want to check it out, if you haven't already, check out the website down below. I appreciate it. Okay, so the shop's a mess, and I've moved my table saw over about 5 feet. That's going to be insanely handy because eventually the area to the left of it is going to be just more expansive, and it's going to have an area for woodworking over on this side of the shop in the back and more digital fab up here. As you guys know, I'm doing a lot with the CNC in terms of my website, but I still, at my roots, I still like working with the table saw, crosscut sled, and building a few things. So I'm going to kind of separate the shop into that. You want to see what's behind this thing? Check this out. Oh my goodness, I got some work to do. One of the crazier things I found in this shop were some bull whips made from paracord. And I really don't think I have to explain that, do I? I mean, it's pretty common to want to practice your bullwhip skills. Anyway, it's late. I'm going to go and get some sleep. We'll get the kids off in the morning to school, and I'll be back. So let's do that. So since starting this business, I've been very fortunate enough that every morning I come out here, I get to fulfill a few orders. And this is one of the more satisfying aspects of this business, is seeing the orders come in and, of course, you know, packing them up and shipping them away. But on to more organization. We're going to take, yeah, you guessed it, more French cleats. You see why I'm so obsessed with these things. So you can see behind me there is there's no real power outlet to power some tools. Well, we're going to fix that by making one of these. You see here, it's pretty simple to put together. You just take a few measurements, cut a few pieces, and then attach a few screws. And then you've now got yourself 4 power outlets wherever you want them. French cleats, man. You wonder why I'm obsessed. French cleats so much. Because they can make things so much easier. So brand does not matter here, but if you got smart switches, this is a perfect application. This dust collector has a manual switch, so I leave it on all the time. And I simply go to Dust Right 650 this as a separator here. And, well, I gotta get some fittings first. You know, and one more thing, this little thing right here has been the unsung hero of this process. This little vacuum is amazing. When you're cleaning up a shop and doing things like this, you got dust kind of in corners and whatnot. Instead of getting the broom and the dustpan out, something like this, hugely helpful. So if you, whatever brand you're in, whatever universe you're in, get a little mini vac like this. It'll be more handy than you think. Of course, I'm using Rockler's Dust Right system as well. Their Dust Right dust collectors are great, especially if you have a shop where you don't want to incorporate a massive system. This is a perfect alternative. However, the bins I've got don't come with the holes that I need, so we've got to do a little retrofitting. So I've taken one of these pails here. I'm going to draw a circle around it. I've got to plug that middle hole. I want the cyclone effect to be as best as possible. And by the way, when you get Flex Seal here, don't cut it with scissors. It takes forever. Use a razor knife. You're good to go. All right, so we're going to clean it up a little bit. And I've cut out the little bottom of that pail as a little piece of plastic to kind of make sure the Flex Seal is not under too much stress with the suction that's going to be created inside. And we're just going to lay it down, creating a nice seal. Then I've bought one of these 4-inch separator cyclone systems online for 20 bucks. And it comes with a template and it shows you exactly how to set it all up. Pretty easy stuff. So I've got the templates cut out and they are adhered to the lid of the bin. And you can see here, I'm going to use a what is this? Not a self-tapping. What's that thing called? A step bit. That's right. A step bit to kind of drill the holes out. Making sure I put them in the exact locations of the template. It really is thoughtful when a company includes a template like this. And then I'm going to take them off and, oh gosh, what did I just do? All right, because of my haste, I took these off because I was so excited I got the 4 holes drilled. And I did not cut the port out. Oh my God. So I've salvaged one and I've got some doubled up paper here. I'm going to make another 2 templates to do this correctly. Hey, sometimes you live and learn, and I can't believe I did that. But either way, we're able to make the templates again, and I've just taken them over to it, and it looks like it's going to be just fine. But to make the hole easily more visible, instead of cutting through the paper, I'm just going to put a Sharpie to it. I'm then going to drill a hole again to get the jigsaw into the area that needs to be cut out. Use a metal cutting blade on a jigsaw, and really the process is pretty simple. Do that twice, and you've got both holes cut out, ready to go. I've also gone ahead and cut out a couple of different gaskets, if you will, for these ports with the same stuff, the flex tape. Once these are installed, I'm going to install these on the top. I'm not going to install them on the bottom because the air in the bottom can circulate inside, no problem, but I don't want air getting out of the top. So what we're going to do is install them pretty simply. I've already installed one with one of the ports facing one direction, and then you take the other one and install it with it facing the other, and it's that simple. When air comes in, it creates a cyclone, and then the air that comes out should be almost dust-free that goes back into the bag. Pretty cool system. So now it's time for install. Here's how this is going to work. You're going to put the ring back on, giving you a nice airtight seal. You're going to bring it over to wherever you need it. And I'm going to attach a 4-inch flex hose from the Dust Right to the actual bin here. You can see here. It doesn't matter which port. I like to do the port away from me because I'm going to be using the port as the suction, the one that's closest to me, pretty simply. And then I'm going to take one of these flexible dust hoses, put it on, clamp it down in place, and now we're going to test it. Thinking that seems pretty powerful. Let's see if it can hold up something with a bunch of pores and holes through it. And yeah, we don't want that going through there. Not at all. Okay, so now that this thing is installed, I find that honestly for my shop and my needs, having a big system all piped up, I've got 16-foot tall ceilings here, so I like these little individual dust collectors. I've got one over there for the CNCs. I've got this one over here for all the tools. And of course, I've got one exclusively for the table saw. It might seem like overkill, but it's still more cost effective than a massive system and a bunch of piping. It really is. That being said, let's see. I'm going to show you here real quick. I'm going to show you the contents of this bag. It's essentially empty. And then I'm going to empty out the big cavity of my table saw with this. And we'll see just how much dust goes into the bag and how much goes into the drum. All right, let's go. So I regret to inform you, I did not take a before picture or a clip of the dust inside the bag. I just didn't. There's a little bit in there right now from picking up a few things here or there, but I'll show you what happened. So we're going to attach a 2-inch adapter to kind of get up into the nooks and crannies. I thought I was going to have to use this for the whole operation. I didn't think the 4-inch dust hose was going to fit in here. But, you know, truth be told, it actually did. But so far, this is doing pretty well, considering it's being reduced down to 2 inches, and it's a 650 CFM dust collector. I think this is doing pretty well. And as I put the 4-inch hose in there, it made really quick work of this entire process. This whole thing probably took me about a minute to 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes to get everything out. So here's the bag after the job. And this has nominal dust that was from something else, I promise you guys. There's really no difference. And as you can see here, when you go over to the table saw, it's completely empty. And all that dust, I'd probably say 3 gallons worth, 4 gallons worth, is now in the bottom of this bin. And it did its job really well. Really pleased with it. Okay, before I get to my verdict on which separator I liked better, I'm going to share with you a couple things going on behind me. You guys know this machine. You've been following along. My product development and my new online business is basically predicated because of this thing. And Penguin reached out and said, hey, you want another machine to try to really put the hobbyist version of what we got to use. So I said, absolutely. And it's right here. All right, I still have to build the table for it, but it's more of an entry-level machine. It still has these ball screw movement threads, which are great. They're so much more accurate than anything racket pinion or belt driven. That hobbyist machine still has that functionality as well. And I can't wait to share it with you. So stay tuned for that. But now I'm going to give you my verdict on which separator I like best. So first, the Jet Centrifugal or Centrifugal cyclonic separator. I actually like this pretty well. I did a video on this where I made this contraption and showed you how this thing worked. It basically works by pushing in dust, spinning it, and then using its own centrifugal force to throw it down into the bin. Okay, it works pretty well. However, about 5 to 1, I have to empty out the barrel through the bag. Okay, it still puts a lot of dust into the bag. Now, I will say this. It's mainly a CNC dust collector, and that creates probably more dust than chips, at least for the way I use it. So I want to be objective here, but I will say this was very expensive. It was over $200 for this thing, but very convenient. You just plug it in and you set it up and you're good. So I like that aspect of it, the ease of use. I don't like the cost. But let's go over here and I'm going to share you some thoughts on the new one. Okay, now on to the dust separator that you kind of DIY or do yourself with a kit. It's only 20 bucks. I got that from Amazon. Here's the deal. I like this better. I really do. I feel like it's more efficient. I feel like the amount of dust that comes into the barrel versus the bag. Eventually, I will upgrade to a canister to that, but right now I'm using the bag. It's almost negligible what goes into the bag. It's pretty incredible. So it's a little more work. You got to cut holes a little bit bigger or depending on whatever barrel you get. Quick note, you have to purchase the barrel separately for either separator you decide. And I used flex tape to use for the gaskets. But honestly, the system works really well. It cleaned out this table saw beautifully, and there's really no dust in the bag. All went into the barrel. Pretty awesome stuff. So from a cost perspective and from a functionality perspective, I'm going to say this is the winner for sure. Doesn't mean I don't like that. That's already set up. It was just a little costly for what it does, to be really honest with you guys. And again, these aren't sponsored videos. I just want to share my information and my knowledge with you. And I appreciate you listening. So that's all I got for this one, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Chris, and I'll see you on that next video. And until then, you guys have a wonderful day. All right, take care. See you.